Shalom, another daily meditation. And our daily meds for today is spiritual fornication. And how bad is it, right? But first, let's define what is spiritual fornication by first defining what is the spirit. Let's go to John 6 and 63. John 6 and 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are what? Spirit. So the spirit is the word. The word is the spirit, right? Next, what is fornication? We can go to Google to check that. The act of having sex with someone you are not married to. So fornication is sex without marriage. Marriage, right? We need to keep in mind, who are we married to, right? Let's go to Jeremiah 3 and 14. This is the Most High speaking, and it reads, Turn, O backsliding children, said the Lord, for I am married unto you. So the Most High is married to Israel, right? Married to the Most High, right? We need to keep in mind that spiritual fornication is not physical fornication. Therefore, in this verse, the Most High is speaking what? Figuratively. Most High is speaking figuratively, right? And that married is what? The covenant, or what? The law, right? Remember, when we are married, we become one, right? We can see that in Ephesians 5 and 31. Ephesians 5 and 31. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh, right? So our agreement with the Most High is to keep the law, right? That's why when one is married to another one, they are what? Tying the knot, right? Think of your spirit as a knot, right? This is an example of a knot, right? It looks simple, beautiful, looks like a heart, right? Now, what is spiritual fornication, right? Spiritual fornication is believing different kinds of what? Doctrine, right? So the doctrine of the Most High is what? The law, right? But there are doctrines of what? Men, right? Let's go back here. The spirit is the word, and the word creates what? Doctrine, right? Let's go to Matthew 15 and 9. Matthew 15 and 9. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. What is that doctrine, right? We are no longer under the law. So when we are lawless, we are what? We are sinning, right? But that is the doctrine of men. The doctrine of the Most High is to what? Keep the law, right? This is Romans 6:15. What then shall we sin, because we are not under the law, but under grace? What does the Most High said? God forbid, or God said no. So we are still under the law, right? But the doctrine of men says what? We are no longer under the law. So when we are no longer under the law, we are what? Committing sin, right? Let's go to 1 John 3 and 4. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law, right? And what is the wages of sin? Romans 6 and 23. For the wages of sin is what? Death, right? That's how spiritual fornication is bad. So spiritual fornication is believing the doctrines of men, right? Believing doctrines of men and acting on it. Meaning when we believe and act as if that we are no longer under the law and we did a law, like for example eating pork, we are committing sin. And what are the wages of sin? Death. That's how bad is it, right? And this is how spiritual fornication looks like. There you go.